Hey guys, welcome back to the Wild Wrestling channel. I am your host, Seth. I've been gone for a couple days. I went on vacation, but if you can't tell, thanks to my grandpa, shout out to him. He and me were able to build this shelf for all the championships, and now I'll be in the background of all the videos. So I really hope you like it. Shout out to my grandpa, he's the best, he helped me build it. But in today's video, I'm going to start, welcome to a brand new series. I'm still trying to figure out the name, but right now we could just call it pay-per-view rankings, something like that. Yearly, the year of, I don't really know what to call it yet, but the series is going to be based on, I'm going to go through different years and each year take pay-per-views from that year and give you my top 10 best. So let's hop right into this year, 2020. Let's hop right into the video. Play the intro. The 10th best pay-per-view of 2020, in my opinion, is Elimination Chamber. This happened a little later than normal, more in March, but the show is pretty bad, I'll be honest, but I think just Drew Gulak versus Daniel Bryan really carries the show, but everything else in the show I really dislike. It's hard. This year didn't really pull out a lot of good stuff, in my opinion. There's not really that many good shows. When I kind of get to the end of this, when I was getting kind of to the bottom of this list, there wasn't really that many good shows. There's some good shows that I was able to point out at the top of the list, but as I get further down the list, it's really hard to pick out things on the list. But like I said, Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan carried the show. Everything else was kind of mid. I didn't really like the Women's Chamber. Shayna Baszler just destroyed everyone. Wasn't that intriguing? The SmackDown Tag Title Elimination Chamber isn't that bad of a match. So it's still a pretty good match. But really, everything else, that 3-on-1 handicap match for the IC title with Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Nakamura versus Strowman, just nothing in here really stands out, so I'm going to put this at number 10. At number 9, we got Backlash. Many people might put this at number 10, but I think there's a little more here. But the greatest wrestling match ever between Edge and Randy Orton isn't that bad of a match, in my opinion. It's really long, but I think people hate on it a little too much. But still, the show doesn't really have that much. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre is all right. Asuka and Nia Jax is all right. The 2-on-1 handicap match between Miz and Morrison versus Strowman is all right. There's still not that much that's good here. But that's what I'm saying. At this point, this far down the list, I really don't care what place you put some of these shows at because they're all just pretty bad. But I'm just going to leave this one here at number 9. Number 8, we got SummerSlam 2020. This show is not too bad. We're getting into the part where the shows start to get a little better. The Roman Reigns return definitely carries the show for me. But the matches aren't that bad. Drew and Randy for the WWE title is not a bad match. The Falls Count Anywhere main event, some people think is a little overrated, but I won't hate on it. There's a lot to look up to in the show. I think they really helped make this the second biggest show of the year. Dominic and Seth in that street fight isn't that bad because they made sure to match how personal the rivalry was. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville is not a very good match. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza is pretty eh. Bayley versus Asuka is not the best because it had a lot of interference. But it's not a really bad match. It was a good way to get the show started. Asuka and Sasha's pretty good. There's a lot here there's some here to dislike, but there's some here to like, and that's why, in my opinion, I think it edged out kind of the really bad, but I think that's why I put it here at number 8. But it was the first show in the Thunderdome, remember that. And that was really cool to see. Number 7, we got Survivor Series. This show is labeled as the best of the best. Raw and SmackDown going head-to-head. This show is pretty in my opinion. There's not that much good besides Drew and Roman. Drew and Roman definitely carry this show. They have one of the best matches of the year. But I don't think there's anything too bad to where it falls down the list. Sammy and Bobby for Intercontinental versus US is kind of Sasha and Asuka isn't that bad. And the two tag team matches are not that bad, but not the best either. But I think this show's all right. I think Drew and Roman definitely carry it and get it to the spot, but I'm going to leave it here at number 7 because I don't think it's too bad, but I don't think it's too good either. Number 6, we got Survivor Series. Most people tend to dislike the show because a lot of people don't really like the Money in the Bank ladder matches at the WWE headquarters. I personally love them. I think it made the matches way more funny, from Dana Brooke trying to and going in the conference room, climbing on the table and grabbing the briefcase above the table, thinking that she won, but it wasn't even the briefcase at all. From Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles brawling in Vince McMahon's office and then having to fix the chairs as Vince looks at them, and then the food fight in the middle of it. And I just like the whole aspect of them trying to get to the top. I think it's really cool and interesting. But yeah, I think it's pretty fun. Seth and Drew have a really good match, a good way to start Drew's reign as WWE champ. They have a good match. Some people probably think this is the best match of the night. The Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown tag titles isn't that bad. And really everything on the show, nothing's like too bad in my opinion. Nothing's that bad, but nothing really stands out besides the Drew and Seth match. But I don't think anything's too bad, and that's why it's at number 6. At number 5, we got WrestleMania Night 1. In total, I'm going to split up the nights here. And though Night 2 is not on the list, I just think generally Night 1 is a lot better than Night 2. It's still a full card in my opinion. The Boneyard match is probably the best match of the year for most people, including myself. The 3-way ladder match for the SmackDown tag titles between Jimmy, Kofi, and John Morrison is pretty good. Becky and Shayna is not too bad, and their match. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins have a decent match that turns into the no disqualification match. Pretty much everything on the show, like nothing's really that bad. The Boneyard match is really good, but to be honest, this night is a lot better than Night 2 when you compare it. Goldberg and Braun Strowman's okay, but like most of the matches on here, there's a lot in it, so I'm not going to dive into everything, but most of it is pretty good, in my opinion. The Boneyard match definitely carries, but I think the whole night in general, if you kind of add everything up together, I still think it's good enough to crack number 5. Now we're going to start to get into the really good stuff, because at number 4, we got Hell in a Cell. This show, the 3 cell matches that are on there are definitely what people look at. I don't think the little stuff in there, like Miz and Otis for the Money in the Bank contract, or Jeff Hardy versus Elias, the 2 other matches, I don't think people tend to look at those, because those are all right. But people really tend to look at the cell matches as the main focus of the show. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns have another really personal and really intense match. And a Hell in a Cell match with I Quit rules. Just Roman Reigns trying to tell him to quit to acknowledge him, but Jimmy having to get involved again. But after it all, Roman gets to Ula Fala at the top of the ramp, as he is now proclaimed as the tribal chief and leader of the family, which is really nice, which is a nice touch there. Sasha Banks and Bayley have probably the best, for some people, the best cell match of the night. This rivalry, their friendship that lasted like basically the whole year, gets so personal in their SmackDown Women's Championship match, as everything that happens with everything that's about so personal. They tear each other apart as Sasha wins, is the new champ, and Randy and Drew fight. This is the 3rd match in their series. Their rivalry also has gone so personal with everything that's happened as Randy captures the title. Some people think this match is a little overrated, but it was so personal. I think it definitely worked. But all in all, I think this show is really good altogether, and that's why it's at number 4. At number 3, we got Clash of Champions. Now, the middle of the card is kind of to some people, but I'm not really going to talk about that. I just want to talk about the 2 matches that bookend the show and why it's up here. Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy and the 3-way Intercontinental Championship ladder match. That opens the show, is an incredible match. That is so good. They put it all on the line here to become Intercontinental Champ, and they do so well in this match. They all gel together. They use the ladders in such a unique way, which is a great way to open the show. And then Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in their first match for the Universal title, the main event, is awesome. It's like the Hell in a Cell match, just so personal as Jey keeps fighting, but it just gets to a point where Roman's just beating him down. Jey tried to fight for so long to win the title, but Roman just beats him down too much as Jimmy comes in and throws in the towel. It just tells such a good story. And that's why, whatever you can say whatever you want about the middle of the card, but those 2 matches bookending it, that is why it's number 3 on this list. Number 2, we got TLC. This, honestly, in my opinion, is a show that is hard to find a bad match on. To open the show, we had the TLC match between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. Not a bad TLC match. It's cool to get those weapons in there that sees Drew retain. We see later in the night, we see another TLC match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens that sees the Usos, that sees Jey Uso cost him. And it's really, in my opinion, if we look at all these years of Kevin fighting the Bloodline, everything that's happened with him and Cody this year, it really all kind of starts from here when he first gets cost the title. So now that we're so far from that show, it's now when we look back at it, it's such a big moment. And the Inferno match, it isn't really the best match, but I think it tells a creepy story that I think some people who like horror enjoy, and people who really like The Fiend probably enjoy this creepy, weird story. But there's a lot on the show that, in my opinion, to like. I really like the show from everything that happens on it. A lot of the other stuff, like Asuka and Charlotte winning the tag belts and the Hurt Syndicate winning the Raw tag titles, everything on it is nice, but I think those couple matches are really good in my opinion. And you can say whatever you want about it, but I really enjoy the show. And number 1, Royal Rumble 2020. This show is so good. From the Minute Maid Park in Houston, it's the Royal Rumble. It was so good. We start off the night with Roman Reigns and King Corbin Falls Count Anywhere. This was just so cool. It was a good match. It probably wasn't the best match of the night. I don't know how many people liked it. People didn't really like the rivalry too much, but they got the show started off nicely. We saw so much from the women's Royal Rumble match. We saw a lot of good NXT talent get showcased. We saw Charlotte Flair get the win. Bayley defeated Lacey Evans, which wasn't a horrible match. Becky and Asuka wasn't that bad. And the main event, the men's Royal Rumble match, was a really good match. We can't even forget the strap match between The Fiend and Daniel Bryan. That had gotten so personal and tells such a good story there. And the strap match is something you don't see very often, so it was really nice to see. And the Royal Rumble match, the men's, is honestly really good. We saw the return of Edge, which was people thought never would happen again. Brock Lesnar eliminated 13 men, like, in a row. Then, and Drew McIntyre finally getting the win, finally getting that big push that we all wanted for him, was awesome. All in all, this show is so good, the best show of the year in my opinion, and that is why it's number 1 as the best pay-per-view of 2020. Guys, so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and also comment to give me a name for this series if you have one. But I'm trying to think of one. And also comment if you are enjoying this new series and if you're going to like it. And make sure you turn on that bell so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.